Hello, my name is Finian Fallon. I'm a psychologist and psychotherapist. I just wanted to offer a few ideas to workers in frontline healthcare settings who may be experiencing a sensation or feeling of being overwhelmed or submerged in the work that they're doing at the moment. Obviously, it's a very difficult period for you all, and it's important to remember that feeling under stress and sometimes overwhelmed is normal and happens to a lot of people. Most of us, thankfully, are resilient in the face of these things, but I want to offer some tips to maybe help you build your resilience and strength during this time, which will help you get through this period until the crisis passes us by. So, a lot of people working in these crisis situations use the word overwhelm to describe the feeling, as I say, of being submerged or paralyzed by the work they're doing. People can sometimes become dissociated in the moment from even their own bodily sensations and emotional life. That may be somewhat protective for us, but it also can be very distressing when it happens to us. Our bodies are designed almost for this negative experience in some senses, in that our bodies release stress hormones when we're under this kind of pressure. That can be useful in a kind of a defensive mode where we immediately need to protect ourselves, but in a working situation, it can go on for hours, weeks, and months in some cases, as may be happening at present. What happens then is we're designed to go into this fight, flight, or freeze mode when these stress hormones are released, and that can cut us off from being able to access our logical thinking brain and make us feel very upset and disoriented. However, there are a few things we can talk about here in relation to managing that kind of stress and helping us to helping you to bring yourself back into your body and continue with your work. First of all, it's important to acknowledge that many of you will be feeling a lot of stress around what's going on around you in your personal life and at home, finances, the future, accommodation arrangements. So it's very important that you seek help from other people where possible and take advantage of any HSE resources that are being offered to you at this time. Make sure you're informed about those and speak to your colleagues and supervisors about that. One of the most important things then to remember in relation to this fight, flight, or freeze process is the loop between our body and mind. And when our mind gets stressed, our body can get stressed, and vice versa as well. When our body gets stressed, our mind can get stressed. So trying to manage the stress within our body is very important. Taking breaks is a really important part of that where possible. And if you can get outside and get some fresh air, I know it's not always practical with PPE considerations, but if you can get even some fresh air on your face or on your skin, it may be very helpful. One good way for some people to kind of break that loop, that stress loop between the body and mind, is to use our breath to make that disconnection. Very often the theory goes that we can manage our stress response when we breathe out by taking what we call elongated breaths. You know that sensation where you're blowing bubbles, if you've ever blown bubbles as a kid, how careful you have to be to get the right breath out to kind of blow the bubbles sufficiently well. So that's one of the things we talk about sometimes, is taking elongated breaths, and some quick tips for that are breathing twice as long outwards as you breathe in. So for example, if you breathe in for 4 seconds, breathe out for 8, and that can help calm the body on the out breath. One of the most important things I talk about is acceptance, an acceptance of the moment we're in, and acceptance of things as they are for the moment. It's important to remember that these things will pass, and that can be useful sometimes to remember that idea that this will pass, remembering the future, remembering the good that you're doing, that we're doing our best, and those kind of things. And coming up with some affirmations for yourself that are authentic for you might give you some help as well. Connection is another part of being safe in these situations and making sure that you maintain connections with people. So in terms of a summary of what I'm saying, in the immediate moment is accept and breathe, A and B, and the C part, the connection, comes later on. So speaking a little bit more about the breath then, it may be useful just to use the idea of trying to focus on taking this breath now, this one breath in this moment, just one breath, and focusing on that rather than focusing on your momentary worries or concerns. If you can do that for a moment when you get a break or between tasks or whatever, that can be a useful thing to do. Taking 3 deep breaths between each task can be a very useful technique as well. So breathing in deeply and breathing out for an extended period, just longer than you've breathed in, can also be helpful in terms of grounding, giving us grounding as well. There's another technique for breathing called 4-7-8 breathing, which involves breathing in for 4, holding for 7 seconds, and then breathing out for 8. It might be something that you'll be able to do during your breaks or when you're moving to or from breaks, just to kind of help reset the stress in the body. So then in relation to your life outside work, it's important to maintain good connections with friends and family where possible, whether that's through social media technology or Zoom or WhatsApp or wherever it might be. It's important to make sure to make an effort for your own sake and for other people's sake to connect with other people, which can help make us feel good. In relation to work then, it's good also to buddy up with friends or colleagues who perhaps are more experienced, or who can provide support and maybe needs your support as well. We know from some research that the experience of being with someone in a crisis or being connected with someone in a crisis can be a very good predictor for a recovery from the crisis. Related to this, a good outcome for people in the aftermath of crisis is maintaining a good network of friends and family and supports for yourself in work and outside of work. So make sure things at home are as best as you can make them at the moment, notwithstanding the difficulties. One of the things I was talking about earlier briefly was about this idea that we're very designed for negative experiences. We don't absorb good experiences as well. So it's very important, as Rick Hanson, one of the Buddhist scientists, would say, that we take in the good and absorb the fun and enjoyment that we can find. Even just maybe even just going from home, noticing the sunshine outside, or noticing some beautiful plants or flowers and savouring those things in our body, or even the laughter of children or our family or friends can also be very helpful. If it is possible to take in the good, it's very important to savour it and absorb or hold the good for 10 or 20 seconds in order for it to become embodied in us. So negative experiences are embodied literally through our hormones, but positive experiences aren't as well embodied. So we have to savour them in order to, as Rick Hanson would say, take in the good. So it's important to make connection with good things in your life as well, and they can overcome a lot of negativity in your life, especially at the moment. When you're having fun, if you have children, if you have access to your own kids or whatever at the moment, it's important to have fun with them. And why not play like a child for the moment? It'll give you a good break from the work and allows you to get lost in the moment with your children and have some fun and connection with them, which again is a very supportive and helpful thing for our sense of safety and belonging and our hope for the future. Laughter is a good thing to consider as well. As I say, have some fun. Movement is another thing that can be helpful with our managing our anxiety and stress. Lifting weights can be very good for anxiety if you're already a weightlifter. If you have access to those, that can help. But movements such as yoga and dance, again, why not dance like a foolish person? Dance like a fool, if need be. Go on TikTok and create some crazy videos if that works for you. There's plenty of support out there for healthcare workers who are being supported from around the world on TikTok and are having some fun doing it. Progressive muscle relaxation, which may help you relax and help with your sleep, can also be used. If there's problems with sleep, progressive muscle relaxation and also the breathing exercises I talked about earlier might be able to help with that. Singing in the shower, singing, just humming music, listening to music, having fun, dancing. That can also be good to do when you're having a break, or even having a dance at the end of shift if possible. I know it sounds crazy, but some people have been doing that as well. So 2 quick techniques which may be helpful for your physical sensation of feeling safer are 2 techniques shared by Deb Dana and Peter Levine. And they're very simple techniques. One is called a butterfly hug, which I think Deb Dana developed, and it basically involves crossing your thumbs like that and putting your hands at to your shoulders and your clavicle, keeping them kind of straight, and then tapping from side to side. Some people find that very relaxing and calming. And what you can do that as a form of meditation when you're thinking about worries or concerns is just close your eyes and focus on the sensation of the tapping on alternative sides, and some people find that very relaxing and calming. Another technique that Peter Levine talks about is giving yourself a hug, giving yourself a self-hug, as he called it. So on some level, our body can't differentiate between a hug being given by other people and one being given by ourselves. It's very difficult now at the moment to get as many hugs as we might need during the day, but this is a technique that can help with some people as well. And it's literally taking our body like that, putting one arm up here and one arm around our body there, around our torso, and just sitting like that, and maybe closing your eyes and just enjoying the sensation of feeling yourself hugged or calmed or contained. And it can be a very helpful thing as well. Peter Levine also talks about using our hands on our chest and on our tummy and just focusing on our breath with our eyes closed perhaps. Again, that can be very calming and relaxing as well for some people. So try all of these techniques and see what lands or works for you. Kind of wrapping all of this up in terms of your safety, it's important to establish a good routine for yourself in terms of meals and routine. So again, if you need help from other people, ask for it in terms of your shopping and your basic supplies. trying to find help where you can with that. But try and get those things in place. There's a lot of sort of alcohol consumption going on at the moment. There's been increases in the alcohol sales. Again, just to mind yourself with that, and also the consumption of sugar can be very detrimental for our mood, because it can cause kind of crashes and highs and lows that can be cycled through very quickly. So alcohol and sugar and that kind of thing might not be best for us, but trying to eat meals that are prepared from fresh. And again, asking for help and being able to receive help is a very important thing at this time. Not everyone is good at receiving help, so you must know that lots of us out here are very, very grateful for the things you're doing, and there's a lot of support, help available for you out there as well. So I hope some of those tips help. We'll make some more videos. If you want any more videos in specific areas, please let me know. I'll be doing videos on other issues, including relationship problems perhaps that people might be experiencing during the intensity of this time, and also looking at how to help your own children, where that may be an issue for you at the moment. So thanks for listening, and best of luck. And again, don't forget, this will pass, and never give up. Thank you.